South Floridians unfortunately go to bed hungry and undernourished. Here is how you can make a difference. Here's Paco Velez with Feeding South Florida. Paco, it's good to have you back on the show, man.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
How you been?
Fantastic. You?
Good. Good. What you do is so great in the community. That's why we had you back. That's why we'll keep having you back. For people who don't know, Feeding South Florida is? Basic.
We're a food bank. We get food from those that have it to those that need it. This last year, we rescued 40 million pounds from local retailers, grocers, farmers, and distributed to our network of 300 partner agencies from Palm Beach County down to the Keys.
It's staggering to think that that much food goes to waste, and even more. Even some you don't rescue.
Correct. There's about 300 million pounds of food, just produce, that goes to waste in Florida every year alone.
That's crazy. And so without you or without agencies like yours, it just goes to the garbage, and hungry people don't get to have any of it.
It goes to the trash. It gets tilled back into the soil, and it's fresh produce. It's very healthy and nutritious, and it really helps people put some good food on their plates.
Yeah. What's the process of it? I mean, I'm sure it's a very long answer, but how is it that you find where to go, who goes, you bring big trucks, and how does it all work?
It's a huge logistics extravaganza for us. Right. So we work with a lot of growers. There's a lot of growers. We're fortunate to be in the state that has growers all over the place and great weather all year, so we can have produce down from Florida City, Homestead, all the way up to Belglade. And we work with those growers. We work with the produce sheds, packing houses, and we let them know that we're here and there's a huge need. 949,910 individuals in the 4-county area struggling to put food on the table. That's 30% of the entire state's population of need is in these 4 counties. So we let them know the issue and how they can be involved, and they're all super happy to help, and we're super grateful to have them help.
And it's just produce?
From them, it's just produce, but we also get a lot of frozen product from our grocers. We work with food brokers, we work with manufacturers, we get canned goods, we get dry goods, cereals, things like that, and then we also have our Feeding America network. So we're able to glean products from Kellogg's from Battle Creek, Michigan. We're able to get product from all over the country thanks to our relationship with Feeding America.
And I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the face of poverty has changed, right? So it's not, this image that some people have in their mind of who's poverty-stricken, who's hungry, and who's not. I would imagine it's a lot more diverse now with regards to who needs food.
It used to be just those folks who were really not bringing in a lot of resources, but now it's filling in that gap. So folks are working, maybe they're not working full-time, they're not so much unemployed, but maybe underemployed.
Right. And
so they're not really able to make ends meet with transportation, with daycare, with all these pieces. So we try to fill in that gap and say, save your grocery money and use that towards utilities, use that to pay your taxes or whatever that is, and stay in your home as opposed to ultimately end up homeless.
Sure.
And so we want to avoid that. So we just help people reallocate some of their budget.
This almost sounds like a cold question, but do you do any qualifying of these people to make sure that they really need the food?
There's not so much any qualifying, but we are in areas that are really high need areas. So we target areas that have schools that have 75, 80, even 95% free and reduced price lunch. So they're already, in essence, pre-qualified for the area. So we just go to these areas and make sure that we're providing enough food to prepare sufficient meals for the family.
You must every day. I mean, I know you. I know how hard you work. I know it's a ton of work, but it's got to be rewarding. I mean, I would imagine you have, if I said give me a success story, you probably have 100 you could read off the top of your head.
There's a lot of success stories, but the biggest thing for us, it's rewarding on one hand, but the bigger emotion is we need to do more.
Right.
So you run into stories all the time, and it's usually those single parents that are not eating for 2, maybe 3 days just so their child can have something to eat. We just had Will Brooks, our MMA fighter, come to one of our events, and he shared about his experience with his father growing up, that he didn't realize that they were poor until much later. His father had 2 jobs, was sacrificing, was not eating, so Will could have something to eat. Same thing with Ruth Riley, WNBA star. Her and her mother from Indiana, same thing. Her mother was not eating just so Ruth could have something to eat. And so we find these stories of heroism, right, all the time, and they're heartbreaking. But then they also give you, there's people out there that really do care and want to give back, and so it's rewarding, but it's also
Frustrating, right?
Yeah, you have to do more.
You
so
wish
much
you could
more.
do more. So how can you do more? How can the community help you do more?
Well, there's a place at the table for everybody. Here we are, here, one way.
Right.
That we can do this. And one of the great things is September is Hunger Action Month, and I know it's a couple of months down the road, but Hunger Action Month. And really the tagline is 30 ways in 30 days, or 30 ways in 30 days. What's your way? How can you get involved? Is it raising awareness? Is it hosting a little dinner party for your friends and raising awareness there? Is it hosting a dinner party or a cocktail reception at your business, at your apartment complex, your neighborhood association? Food drives. Is it coming to volunteer at the food bank? What's your way? Is it getting out, if you're a public figure, getting out there and letting people know about the issue, that there's almost 1 million people in this paradise that's South Florida. But you know, one of the great things is we try to raise awareness also by wearing orange.
Right.
So everybody knows October is pink, right, for breast cancer awareness, but September's always been Hunger Action Month, and hunger is that color for hunger.
Now,
awareness.
we're taping this in June.
Right.
Are you keeping that shirt on through September?
Not this very shirt, but I'm going to have like 40 of them exactly like you, so we'll go with that.
Are you just going to wear orange like every day for the next few months? Because, I mean, I get what you're doing, but you're going to be a bit of a fashion disaster if you do it all the time.
Do you know how many things are orange out there? There's we have a competition at the office every September. People wear those fake orange mustaches, orange glasses, orange shirt, orange shoes, the whole bit. But it's fun and games. Really, the meaning behind it is very serious, and we want to let people know that in any way possible that there is that need. And you're right, the need is changing. It's not just the low-income individuals, and it's really hardly any folks that are not employed. Most of the folks are employed or underemployed, have multiple jobs, but we still need people to see the faces of the children. 296,000 children in the 4-county area, the families, the mothers, the fathers, and that's one of the things that Will Brooks, the MMA fighter, who just won the championship, by the way, and was wearing a Feeding South Florida logo on his trunks.
Very cool.
He mentioned, he's like, yeah, the kids are there and they're struggling, but it's also the parents that are giving up that food. So don't forget about the parents. Don't forget about the adults.
Yeah,
So.
that's a great message. It's something that you probably don't think about. You maybe think kids, but think about the parents that aren't eating so their kids can.
Right.
All right, so let's get people involved to help and volunteer. How can they do that?
Go to our website, feedingsouthflorida.org, and there's many ways to get involved. You can sign up as an individual to volunteer. You can sign up as a group to come out and volunteer. We have a lot of committees that we're starting up, from event committees to food committees, and if you're in the food business and want to get involved and say, look, you know, I have a small company, but I also have a great network, and how can we get that network involved? So it's you know, how are movies successful? It's word of mouth a lot of times, and yeah, I'd go see this. And so yes, there's this need.
Right.
There's this organization that can help solve or end this need. Let's all get involved and help.
And wear some orange.
And wear some orange in the process.
Orange
and fashionably be orange.
Orange is apparently the new black, as I heard.
That's so. Yes, it is.
Maybe you could partner with that show and get a little. I'm just throwing it out there.
There's a different kind of orange.
Probably, exactly. Yeah, not the same thing. Great to see you. Good luck with all this, and we'll have you back soon. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you
all
so
right,
much.
You got it.